I'm Dr. Shantella Sherman. I'm a historian from America, from Washington, D.C., and my interest in field has always been race, and specifically the science of eugenics, or the pseudoscience, more importantly, of eugenics. Eugenics is an important thing to study at this time, even though it's a history that started roughly 1840. In 2019, we still have issues that relate to eugenics that are both social, scientific, and as well pop. So within our pop culture, there are many instances where African American men, women, and children are impacted by stereotypes that don't function on their own, but as a throwback to an old pseudoscience known as eugenics. However, eugenics is not known rapidly and within the consciousness of most people. They will talk about racism, but not the science that undergirds racism in the first place. One of the reasons why I wanted to study eugenics, especially when it came to Black men, was the fact that Black men still are incarcerated, face public scrutiny, are incarcerated at larger rates, and basically face the ire of society in ways that others don't. Specifically with Black men within a eugenic template, you have Black men who are a genetic threat, specifically to white men and white masculinity. So the goal is always to try and neutralize that genetic power as quickly and efficiently as possible. So throughout history, eugenics sets aside the fit over the unfit. And African American men are always told that they are the unfit, both medically, scientifically, but also socially. So it's okay in pop culture if we look at Black men as athletic and superior as basketball players and things like that. But you would never consider a Black man to be important as far as his aptitude, his power in business, or even his power within a household. My goal as a person studying eugenics and trying to bring that information to you is to get us to stop with the stereotypes by understanding that, one, they're undergirded by science, but also within pop culture, we allow the stereotypes to vexate and to basically take hold of our thinking. As a result, Black men are often ostracized in every possible public sphere. And whether that's education or housing or employment, it hits us generationally, and it hits Black men generationally. So it, in fact, begins to destroy Black families and Black male-female relationships. Specifically within eugenics, if you're thinking in terms of medical and scientific information, Black men are still considered to be apes. And eugenics says in very clear terms that Black men represent a subspecies of the human condition. Within evolution, they did not complete their evolutionary trajectory. And based upon that, they are considered to be children. As children, they are not considered full humans. They are not good leaders. They don't make good fathers. They don't make good anything, except perhaps laborers. And these are some of the things that we try and fight against, personally myself in bringing this information to you, but also through the Acumen Group and House of Khepera. We want to ensure that Black men, Black boys understand that there is a purpose and a strategy behind keeping them out of spaces where they can do the best, do their best, and do the best for the nations and the people that are around them. In addition to things like hauling Black men off to prison, this is a historical mechanism. And if we take in historical terms, Black men going to prison years ago, Black men were often hauled off of street corners in a very social way, where if they were standing on a corner for longer than 2 or 3 minutes, they could be arrested and incarcerated for loitering. There was a concept of ne'er-do-wells. Black men fell into this category, so truancy, things like standing and talking, idling too long. If you were asked if you had a job and you said no, that was considered vagrancy, and you could be arrested immediately and put in prison for basically breathing, being too long in one place. This meant in many instances that Black men who had committed no crimes, aside from breathing, often had long life-term consequences, because jail sentences went from what were known as the 1 to 99 sentence. You were incarcerated for a term of 1 to 99 years, and that meant it was at the discretion of the judge or the jailer to determine when you had satisfied your time and when he would let you out. When we think in terms of crime today, the way Black men or Black boys are hyper surveyed it is in many ways very much the same things that our forefathers dealt with at the turn of the century in America and as well in different parts of Europe. And it signifies that while many Black men found ways of getting around this, there's an opportunity for us now to learn from history and teach our young Black men that there are ways to answer the racism that don't include violence, that don't include going AWOL or opting out or emigrating to another space, but absolutely challenging what's in front of you on both scientific and social spaces and within pop culture, but being definitive in it and allowing the past, our fathers, our grandfathers, the tools that they use to be the exact same tools that we use today to ensure that we earn and we own the right to be where we are.